I'm not the bad guy for telling my brother it was a dumb decision to invite his new girlfriend over for our nephew's birthday, and I understand why our brother-in-law uninvited him. My brother Ron met his late girlfriend Linda when they were 16, and they started dating shortly after. To say the family adored her will be an understatement. Linda was beautiful, smart, and has an amazing sense of humor. She's been part of the family for so long that most of us don't remember a time without her. Most of our best memories have her in them. Linda was very close to my nephew Drew. Drew is disabled and autistic, so he has a hard time connecting to other people. I don't know how to describe the relationship between Drew and Linda. They just sort of clicked. From the moment he was born, she was his best friend and will often watch over him. Sadly, Linda passed away at the end of January after she was hit by a drunk driver. The entire family was devastated, and we are still mourning her. Drew took it especially hard, since he doesn't really grasp what death means yet. He constantly asks where Linda is and when she will be coming back, sometimes going as far as having full-blown meltdowns because he missed her so much. He's currently attending therapy to learn how to process his grief, but it's a slow progress. Drew's birthday is in 2 weeks, and my sister and brother-in-law sends our invitations to everyone in the family asking who can come. Birthdays are a big deal in our family and are usually an over the top even with catering, so it's necessary to confirm the number of guests. Apparently, Ron wrote that he will come with Gia, a new girlfriend he is hoping to introduce to the family. Most of the family is pissed at him for moving on so quickly. I personally think it's none of my business, and I'm going to tell him what to do or how to live his life. However, bringing a new partner over to his nephew's birthday, when he knows how said nephew was so attached to his ex and is still mourning her, is dumb at least and cruel at worst. Brother-in-law told Ron that he's planning on bringing that girl over for Drew's birthday. He shouldn't bother coming at all. Ron called me to complain and I told him the same thing. He shouldn't bring her over. Ron called me a bad guy and bad brother. He said that he is finally happy again after Linda's death and ways it's so hard for us to accept that he moved on and separate his relationship. I told him I'm happy to hear he's going well, and I'm sure the family will someday love to meet the girl that makes him so happy. But I'm standing by my opinion that inviting her was a dumb decision on his part, and he chose the worst possible time and place to introduce someone new to family. So what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for not giving my sister-in-law and her family a luxury vacation. I travel a lot for work, so I have so many hotel and airline points, it's so crazy. This summer, I'm taking my family to Disney World. We are going to stay at one of the resorts on the property. My sister-in-law and her family had a hard time during the pandemic, so I decided to do something nice and invite them along, my treat. I said I will pay for their flights, hotel, and park tickets. Everyone was excited until she started talking to my wife. Now she's upset that we are staying at one of the resorts and they have to stay in Disney Springs. Apparently, I'm being cheap by using points for the hotel instead of just paying for them to stay at the same resorts as us. My wife told her sister and brother-in-law to shut the f*** up and accept the gift, but they didn't. They told my mother-in-law that I was making their kids jealous by not letting them enjoy the same stuff as us. To be clear, the hotel I booked for them is very nice. It's just not the Grand Floridian. So I finally talked to them and give the choice of accepting my gift or not coming since I could still cancel their reservations. They started yelling at me for being bad guy and taking something away from their children. I talking to them like adults, but when they started screaming, their kids heard them and found out that they might not be going. Now the kids are pissed at their parents for possibly f***ing up their vacation. And I am bad guy for making them look bad in front of the kids. I'm the bad guy for refusing to pitch in money towards my sister-in-law's IVF treatments and telling her and my brother-in-law their future children are not my responsibility. My brother Ray and sister-in-law Nora have always wanted children. However, they are unable to conceive naturally. Nora had multiplied ovarian cysts and eventually needed to have both her ovaries removed as a teenager. Ray and Nora are in their early 30s and are very urgent about needing to try sooner than never because they say they're approaching an age where IVF success rates start to decline. Because of Nora's past medical issues, I'm told that she will need extra care and her round of treatment will be especially expensive. A little over $27,000, Ray and Nora already have $9,000 set aside in savings for IVF treatment. They have raised $1,000 from France. The rest of the family is pitching the smaller amounts as well. My mother is given $2,000. Nora's sister Lauren is given $1,000, and her parents are given $4,000, which leaves about $10,000 left. Their insurance will not help to cover it because they don't consider it a medically necessary procedure. Ray and Nora have also had difficulty qualifying for an IVF loan as they have poor credit. Ray and Nora are asking me to help because, according to the loan advisor, I am allowed to take out the loan on Ray and Nora's behalf. $10,000 is a huge ask for me, and the fact that Ray and Nora have poor credit shows they already don't have a good track record of paying back loans. When I question why they didn't ask Lauren, they claim they couldn't because she isn't single and childless like I am. They see it as me not having any dependents. My mother and parents-in-law don't have a lot of savings, and their early mansion donations were already a huge gift for them. It's taken a lot of time to correct a bad credit score, and it makes things much more difficult. And harsh, as it is to say, I don't want to take out thousands of dollars in a loan for a procedure that has a good chance for not even working. So I told Ray and Nora no, and that their future children are not my responsibility. I also want to put my foot down now, because next is gonna be private school tuition or a college fund, and then shouldn't be my responsibility just because I'm currently single and childless. Nora was obviously disappointed but told me she respected my choice. Ray was angry. He told me that he would remember this for when I am ever in a time of need so that I will know how it feels to have family turn their back on me. The rest of the family members have essentially told me we're not mad at you, just disappointed. Because Nora worried for years that she will never be able to have children or be mother. They said Ray and Nora will be wonderful parents and isn't right that they can conceive naturally, which I do agree with. However, I still stand by Nora and Ray's future children not being my responsibility. I don't think it's fair that I should delay or give up the possibility of starting my own family in order to finance Ray and Nora's. So am I the bad guy here? Am I the bad guy for not putting my sister's wedding expenses on my credit card and humiliating her? I was the only person in the family to go to college and get out of poverty. My family is from a small town and we struggle a lot growing up. I get out, but it's hard because I make a good salary now and my family expects me to share it. I still have student loans and bills to pay, but they seem to think I'm rolling the money. I also bought an apartment in 2019, and when my parents found out, they called me selfish and wanted me to pay for their expenses. I have loaned money to my parents, about $800, and they forgot. They borrowed money and claims I forgot that I gave it as a gift, and said they didn't need to repay. My sister and I used to have a good relationship, but once I left for college and did better, our relationship got more strained. She got married and came back a few days before the wedding to help her set everything up. We went to the grocery store and she bought $1,700 worth of groceries, and we were cooking it for the wedding. Her card was denied, and she tried a few, but they were all denied. We stepped aside and she called the credit card company to find out she nearly maxed out her cards. She started to panic and check her accounts and found out she has $200 left in checking. I tell her to check savings and she snapped back she didn't have any, and our mom checked her card and still had $600. So she said she will cover $600 and volunteered me for the other $1,100. I told them I didn't have the money. I did, but I don't think my sister will have the money to pay me back. My sister demanded to see proof that I had maxed out my credit cards and I didn't have any money in my checking, and I told her I don't have to give her proof. I just don't have the money. She started crying and yelling at me that I was looking down on her for being broke, and she knew I have the money. I'm just being stingy. My mom started on me to telling me that people are staring and people are going to gossip about this, and I was humiliating my sister for making it seem like she couldn't even afford her own wedding. I had enough and walked out and told them I had it with them expecting me to pay for everything. I went back to my parents' house and my sister sent me a text saying I was no longer welcome to the wedding. I drove home without another word, and I'm wondering if I should have just put the groceries on my cart to keep the peace. I'm at the bad guy for refusing to remove the haunting mounds when my sister-in-law is staying at the cabin. My family has a haunting cabin that has been passed down for generations. I'm an only child, so it went to me when my father died. Now, I didn't really hunt, always found it boring, but going up to the cabin to fish or just swim with the kids has always been fun. I fixed the place up, and it's a great place to get away for the weekend. Now, my sister-in-law fell on hard times. We were going to have her stay at the house, but her drive to work will be awful. So we decided to have her stay at the cabin since her drive will be a lot better and more room for everyone. I went out with her this week and showed the cabin before she moves in the next week. The cabin is old, and over the years family members have gotten mounds or had what they haunted preserved. There are a lot of first rugs and had mounds. She told me she can move in and needed them to go. I was taken aback since we are going to her huge favor. I told her all the stuff is staying. She was mad, but I thought that was it. I get home and my wife goes off on me for caring more about the family mounds than her sister being comfortable. She's not talking to me, and I just feel like we are going to a huge favor for sister-in-law and that she can't stock it up, then she doesn't get a free place to live. I'm at the bad guy for opting out of my cousin's wedding when they expected me to play videographer for free. I went to school for film. I have a job doing nature videos and stock videos for advertisements. This week I was going to my cousin's James' wedding on Wednesday afternoon. I RSVP'd a month ago. I left all of my equipment at home because of it's my vacation, so why lug it around with me? I get to my grandma's house on Friday and she's shocked that I didn't bring any cameras or anything. She tells me I'm supposed to record my cousin's wedding for him. She volunteered me. I politely declined, saying it was a party I was invited to as a guest. My cousin and family members can't believe I forgot my equipment at home. My mom already told them I wasn't going, and it was rude to expect it from me for free. This whole conversation happened without my knowledge. My cousin said I could rent the equipment myself at my own expense as a gift. I declined again, and I have a family member saying I could use their newest iPhone because the specs are better than most professional cameras these days. Not exactly true, but okay. I tried explaining again that I want to present as a guest for my cousin at the wedding. This morning my mom and I was disinvited from the BBQ and waiting unless I record the wedding for my cousin. My grandma gave me until tonight to find a hotel room, and I'm being difficult because videographs are expensive. I was supposed to help my cousin save money, and now he's scrambling at the last minute because his bride is angry at the whole side of the family. Because I'm selfish, it's making the whole family look bad. I'm the bad guy for telling my grandpa he's not the reason why I'm going to college. I'm of a mixed race. My mom is white and my dad is black Mexican. My grandfather never liked my dad, and back when my parents were just dating, he would tell my mom stuff like, I'm not racist, but you have to ask what does a guy like him want with a girl like you. He wants to marry you for a green card, and etc. When mom got pregnant, grandpa stopped talking to her and demanded she leaves his house. She decided to move in with my dad, get married, and why not? My parents have always worked hard to give me a good life and always encouraged me academically. They always helped with my homework, were really active in my schools. My mom even started attending mass and my dad's church, so I will have a higher chance of getting a scholarship at the private Catholic school. Despite never needing my grandpa, my parents did attempt to build a connection between me and him. They will invite him to my birthday and Christmas, but he never came. My grandma will always come. COVID changed things. My grandma died, and I guess this isolation made grandpa rethink his life choices because he slowly attempted to reconnect with us. He never addressed being racist, but has apologized for judging my dad, even though he has gotten closer to us. We are not a tight-knit grandpa-grandson duo. I was already 14 when he decided to reach out, so I think it will be naive to think we will be like Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma at this point. Okay, so here comes the actual Emma the bad guy. Because I'm aware that up until this point, Grandpa is a bad guy. So last year, I took the SAT for the first time and I got a 1,450. My counselor told me that this score combined with my grades and my class rank mean that I was pretty much safe to apply almost anywhere. However, if it was something like interested me, I could try retaking the SAT because if I got a 1,500 plus, we could be taking Ivy League's chance then. When I shared this with my family, my grandpa promptly offered to pay for it. SAT prep course. I took the course, got a higher score, applied the schools, and eventually got a full ride to a Navy school where I will start in the fall. Not sure where. I want a bit of privacy, so yesterday my grandpa and I went out and met some of his friends, and he was telling them about my future college plans and bragged that if it wasn't for him paying for my course, I will not be able to go to school in fall. I corrected him and said that while the course helped, it was my parents' hard work that got me where I am, so they were the ones who steered me towards academia anyways. He got mad at me, and he now says I'm ungrateful. But I don't think it's fair of him to take credit when it wasn't him who was there for me truthfully my school journey. It was only there for the very end. But I recognize that while I would have gotten into college regardless, perhaps it would not be full ride at a super elite school, so he did help. So, what do